Yo, what's the dealio for really though? You know what it is. This is Nkosi TV. I'm your host Nkosi, and we are about to get into 5 things that you can do to live your best life in Gambia. Get ready. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm here today, man. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. I know you're looking at my head. You know, it's going to take a little getting used to. I get it. I understand. It's going to take me a little getting used to as well. So, you know, we both on the same page with that. Nevertheless, welcome to the show. I want to talk about 5 things that you can do to live your best life in Gambia. Okay? Now, before I get into these 5 things, I want you to understand that, you have to be in a certain mindset when you get ready to come to Gambia. Okay? It's a very, very different place. You know, things are very different over here. People operate very differently over here. Okay? All right, so with that being said, we're going to jump into number one. Number one is keep your business in or on your mind and out of your mouth. Okay? Keep your business in your mind and out of your mouth. Now, in layman's terms, what that really means basically is don't tell everybody what's going on with you in terms of your own business. Instead, use that same energy that you would use to share with someone what's going on in your mind and what's going on in your personal business to focus on causing what's in your mind to come into fruition. Okay? What do I mean by that? All right, it's abstract. It can't be touched. It's just an imagination. It's just a thought. Okay, but you can pull that thought out of the spirit realm into this natural realm. Okay, and the way that you do that is you keep your mouth closed about your business and you keep it active in your mind. When your mind is on your business and your business, is in your mind, then you can focus. Because there are many thoughts that we can think, but no multiple thoughts can occupy your mind at the same time. If you focused on one thing, you don't have room to think about nothing else. And you can take that focus and establish what it is that you need to establish to get to the next level. All right? Number two. Number two is live, laugh, and love. Right? It would be sad, man, if you lived your whole life and got to the end of your life and you haven't done those 3 things. You haven't lived, you haven't loved, and you haven't laughed. Okay? Now, what do I mean by live? There are a lot of people, per se, living, but my idea of living is not existing. And you are existing when you're constantly under pressure, when you're constantly feeling stress, when you're constantly in drama, when you're constantly worried about one thing, and you get done with that thing and then you worried about something else. To me, that's existing. That's not living. When you're living, you are spending the majority of your time happy and not sad. You're spending the majority of your time on a high vibrational level and not on a low vibrational level. You are spending time with people who are on the same frequency that you're on, right? Happy, no backbiting, no talking about each other, no competition, none of those low vibrating frequencies, okay? All right, that's living. When you're laughing, you got to learn how to do stuff that's fun. Do stuff that makes you laugh. That's a high vibrational function, right? In fact, anything that makes you feel good and that's not harming anybody else is a high vibrational function. So you got to learn how to do that more often rather than the opposite of that. Okay? So you living, you laughing, and you loving. And when I say love, the first thing that may come to your mind may be your significant other or a person you can spend time with. It includes that, but it's not exclusive to that. What I mean by that is there are a lot of things that you can do, hobbies, different things. It doesn't have to include a person, but it can be something that you just like doing, okay, or that you love doing, right? I suggest in order to live your best life, you got to live, you have to laugh, and you have to love. Okay, and then of course the first one was keep your business in your mind and out of your mouth. All right, next thing, number 3, buy some land, man. Buy some land and get you a structure built on that land. Okay, now the reason why I say that is because there's so much money that has been spent and that is being spent on rent, rental properties and so forth. And if we continue to invest money in rental properties, it's not making us money, it's making somebody else money, right? Okay? And so when you buy your land, that's going to be something that you can call your own. You build a structure on that land. It may initially cost you a lot, but it's going to pay for itself. Why? Because over time, you won't have to pay rent. And from what I can see since I've been here in the last 2.5 years, that's probably one of, if not the biggest purchase that you will make in Gambia is land or building a structure on your land. So, if you invest and get some land and you get something built on that land, guess what? The money that you've been spending on rentals, you can use it for other things. Okay? That will definitely help you live, your best life. All right, let's get to number 4. Number 4 is going to be, shorten your friend list and lengthen your associate list. Oftentimes, man, we can't tell the difference between a friend and an associate because we have these, we're looking through the wrong lenses, right? We don't have any walls of protection up. We don't have any discernment. We just let anybody in and we call them friend. Well, in order for you to live your best life, you got to get to a point where you stop using that word so loosely. Everybody is not your friend. Okay? In fact, everybody that present themselves as your friend is not your friend. Everybody that present themselves to be for you and to want to see you succeed, that's not the case. Okay? And we, as human beings, have to learn how to distinguish the difference. Okay? And you start by putting people in two different categories. They're either associates or they're your friends. Okay? And what I would suggest is before you call somebody your friend, judge them by their actions. Don't go by what a person says, go by what a person does. Because oftentimes, what a person really means is going to show through their behavior and what they do, okay, versus what they say. All right? So you have to shorten your list of people you call friend, right? And you got to put some value on that word and not use it so loosely. Then you have to lengthen your list of people that are associates. Now, what are associates? Associates are people that you don't share everything with. They you spend a little time with them, you do business together with them, so forth and so on. But they're not in your inner circle, right? They're not enemies, but they are people that you associate with, which is why we call them associates, okay? All right? Ain't nothing wrong with having associates versus friends, right? Again, we got to be able to tell the difference, right? Okay? And so when we get to that point, then we'll be able to, definitely start living our best life. Because then we'll keep people out of places in our heart that they don't need to be, right? They don't need to be. All right? Okay. Now, the last one is, all of these are important, but this is definitely extremely important. It's going to really, really play a major part in you living your best life. You have to learn how to work on your mind, your body, and your soul. your mind, your body, and your soul. Okay, now let me explain this. When you work on your mind, you're doing things to enhance your thinking. You're doing things to enhance your ability to think, to reason, to imagine, to strategize, all of those things. Generally, let me give you some examples. You can read. That works toward the health of your mind. You can meditate. That helps toward the health of your mind. You can, practice critically thinking. That definitely helps with, sharpening your mind, right? You can do what I call vision casting. Vision casting is coming up with a vision for your life. And when you come up with a vision for your life, you're critically thinking. You're not thinking about just what you want it to be when you have made it there, but you're thinking about all of the steps that it's going to take to get there. Okay? So when you do that, then you're really using your mind and you're critically thinking. All right? All right, so that's your mind. I could go on, but you get the point. All right? So the next thing is, the next thing is, your body, right? Health is extremely important. And when you lose health or your health is threatened, then it's kind of hard to live your best life. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many things you have accumulated. I don't care how many things you have accumulated or how much money you have. It's difficult to enjoy life and live your best life when your health is not in place. Okay, so to live your best life, you've got to work on your mind, your body, and your soul. So we're talking about body. When you work on your body, it's just about exercising, man. It's about, not just physically exercising, but getting some cardio in, and changing your diet if necessary, so that you're not affected by some of the things that people are affected by. 90% of the diseases that are experienced in life is because we're not eating right, we're not getting the proper rest, or we're not doing getting the proper exercise. Okay, so when you work on your mind, your body, and your soul, it certainly includes stimulating your mind, feeding your mind, growing, but also working on your body physically, right? And then your soul. When you work on your soul, I recommend definitely that you get into meditation, that you get into reading sacred texts, anything that's going to help you to know yourself on a spiritual level, right? If you know yourself on a spiritual level and you start, dealing with spiritual things, then it will enhance your relationships. It'll teach you how to maneuver in and out of around your enemies. It'll teach you how to, always be a step ahead of people who don't want to see you succeed. It'll help you in a lot of different ways. Okay, so when you work on your mind, your body, and your soul, it is essential to you living your best life. I'm not out of information, but I'm out of time because I want to keep this video pretty short. And I hope that it has helped you. I'm going more for quality than I am quantity. So I'm not so focused on super long videos as much as I am focused on, a wealth of information within the video itself. Okay? So again, I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that it will continue to help you, because this is something that you can go back and look at, and remind yourself, of what you need to do to live your best life in Gambia. And I titled this 5 Things You Need to Do to Live Your Best Life in Gambia, primarily because I'm in Gambia. But these are things that you can use no matter where you are in the world. Okay? All right. Take care. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll see you on the next episode.